21:25 is where I'm speeding it up to. I'll pause it there for a second just to get caught up, because that's pretty much going to be the end of this replay. But the lesson learned here, screw it, let's just go past it. Right at the 21:25 mark, that's when Priestess of the Moon uses her ultimate, and we got frost worms and all that stuff going on by the undead player. So the tech was finally able to win this. All the players are very excited about being able to overcome that early game harassment, that early push, and they're saying it's a replay of the week. Definitely entertaining to watch. If you care to watch it again, maybe learn the intricacies of how these players dealt with it. Another interesting move here by the Priestess of the Moon. I said I wasn't going to shoutcast, but I'll make note of it, is that she was bringing her positioning to harass that expansion that she had lost, that the human expansion, to get experience just by killing those mining peasants. And she was already level 6 at the time, but lesson learned there is to level those heroes to be very, and kind of get the hero advantage when you're losing your bases. And as long as one of your teammates are able to tech and kind of get that tech advantage later on, you should be able to win. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff going on in my mind and I'm talking a lot. Still got 2 more replays to go by. And how long are we into this audio commentary so far? Let me double check the time. 20 minutes, that's not too bad. Alright, we'll go to replay number 3. And this was brought to you by a player named Coca-Coil. I think that's a pretty cool name, though. I kind of giggled a little bit to myself when I first saw that. Obviously an undead player here with the coil reference there. But let's see. This one is a 1v1 on Terran Stand versus an Orc player. And I think that the undead player does a really good here, and he uses ghouls effectively versus the standard Orc, Blade Master, Shadowhunter, Grunts, and Raiders kind of thing. And we'll sync this replay up at the 2-minute mark, and let's do it at 2x speed, again, just so we can get through things a little bit faster. It's a 1v1 game, so we might end up speeding through it later on after I kind of make my point about it. But there were some interesting things that happened, more interesting things that happened in this replay than the other one. So 2 minutes at 2x speed, that's what we're going to be shooting for. Fog of War off, and we're looking at the undead player's perspective. Whoopsie, I'm 3 seconds off. I'll just kind of count to myself to make sure I'm there. But 2 minutes, 2x speed, Fog of War off, looking at the undead player's perspective. It's on Terran Stand, and it's a 1v1, as we've said before. I wanted to talk about something else here while we're waiting for you guys to sync up. I've been getting a few PMs from a few or a few people that were asking me about starting to be a audio commentator themselves, and since I'm the audio coordinator of WCR, I get a lot of PMs regularly about that. But the one that was kind of sticking out to me recently was this guy named Patience, and he's an undead commentator, and I think as of today he's got maybe 6 audio commentaries up in the member audio commentary section. So if you're an undead player and you're not getting enough from Destroyer, who is amazing, we just brought him on staff recently, and some of the other undead commentaries we have. Who is it? Stop's Orc, and I haven't heard from him from a while. I don't know. It seems like I got a really full audio commentary staff right now, but a lot of people are kind of off doing their own thing. Universities and colleges have recently started up again, so kind of people are getting settled with their real life, and then I'm sure they'll come back. Also, if you haven't heard recently, we lost Frostguard, who was our another Orc audio commentator. He made one audio commentary on his return, and then I haven't heard from him for like over 3 months, so we had to let him go. If he ever comes back, that'd be great. I did miss him, I did like his stuff. Obviously, that's why I liked bringing him back on, and I was all for him being a staff member, but we need some commitment from you people as staff members here, so that's the biggest thing. Anyway, if you're into making audio commentaries and you think you might be good at it, definitely try your hand first at the member audio commentary section. I always push it. It's linked to in my SIG for the forums. Again, I have a few links to things in there. I think I mentioned all of them so far in this audio commentary, but that's the first place I tell people to start producing content. And the reason I do that is because it gives the fan base here, that is basically going to be the people who listen to you and appreciate your work in the future as a staff member, a chance to kind of get to know you, and also it gives you a chance to see how the community responds to your work. If you're just starting out, you can take their constructive criticism to improve your work, and then when you finally become a trial staff member or full-time staff member, you're going to be that much better. It also allows me to see how dedicated you are to actually being an audio commentator. You know, some people just wake up in the morning and say, I think I could do a good job being an audio commentator, and, you know, if they're brought on staff, then, you know, 2 weeks later, we don't hear from them ever again, and I hate to see that, you know, and this looks like it might be happening with some of the commentators here at the site, so I hate to say kind of bad things about anybody, so I won't be saying any names, but, you know, we're always looking for new talent, and I'm always keeping my eye out, so member audio commentary section. Check it out. If you're not happy with the content being produced on the front page, trust me, there's a lot better stuff in the member section. I just haven't had time to go through all of them, and I haven't had a chance to talk to all those great commentators there and great aspiring talent. Check out Patience. He's my new guy who's been starting over there that I'm starting to keep an eye on. So Patience, just give you a shout out. Hopefully that works out for you. All right, let's get it on pause. 2 minutes at 2x speed, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. All right, a very common stuff is what you're going to learn from this is the cookie cutter way to play Orc and play Undead on this map. And the coolest thing that any Undead player will tell you to do early games, and 1v1s it's a lot more viable than, let's say, 2v2s or some other games, is to go for those coil harasses early game. And as an Orc player, you can kind of expect that. So this is a very interesting way that this Orc player kind of dealt with this early game harassment. Instead of clearing out both those, you're clearing out all three of those priest camp, or sorry, the apprentice wizard camps close to his base. He only killed the one that drops the item, and then he immediately started running towards the undead's base and started creeping he's going for the harassment on the other side. So that's kind of something that he was able to learn through experience, obviously, is that you come to expect that coil harassment. So there's no point to staying at your own base when you could kind of hurt your opponent's creeping pattern by trying to harass him. So Dust of Appearance used, kind of a little bit of shoutcasting there, and he's undead players chasing the Orc around with Coil, hoping to try to get a few last hits in and get a kill. But even without Boots of Speed, the Blade Master is a little bit faster, especially with Windwalk, to be able to get away from that. A lot of undead players now that I've been watching some of these replays are getting really good about preemptively using that Dust of Appearance, and it almost looks like map hack a lot of the time. But it's just from experience, and it doesn't take a genius, or it doesn't take a map hacker, to realize that there's a good chance that the Blade Master could be right next to me, and that it's worth the investment of whatever it is, like 75 gold, to use that Dust of Appearance and stop that creep jack from happening. You could get an item that you really want to get. You could get the kill and experience. That's always something you want to get. So that was pretty interesting here. So Blade Master picks up the Boots of Speed from the shop. Let's see, did the other one get it? They both have Boots of Speed, basically to counter there. And there he's saying map hack. And again, I think it's just I don't know what the heck the attitude is there. I think he ended up using what did he use? I think he was at the Goblin Laboratory and was able to use the reveal there to kind of get a few hits on the Blade Master to save his Acolytes during his tech. Very, very common thing for Orc players to do on this map is to come over to your Acolytes around this time of the game when you're mid-tech, either halfway to your Tier 2 tech or going to your Tier 3, which in this case the Undead player is doing, to harass those Acolytes, because then you have to make a choice. Do either cancel your tech and lose that time invested, or so you can remake those Acolytes, or do you lose the gold that you could make, or you could potentially have lost or gained by not having or having those Acolytes there. Wow, that was kind of difficult to say, but hopefully you got what I was saying there. Lots of creeping going on. It's very important to get your Death Knight higher levels. That's when the Undead players really shine. If you can get your Death Knight to level 3 before you get your Lich out, that's obviously recommended. If you can even get him to 5, that would be even better, but 3 is generally the consensus here. Now, what's going to happen here, you'll see it's very interesting, is as soon as the Orc player is able to get his Shadowhunter and make a good hit here, he did a little bit of power creeping with the Shadowhunter to get him to level 2 before this hit. But you'll see what each player is focusing on. They're focusing on killing the primary hero, which the Orc player is focusing on killing the Death Knight. You notice he's just moving his grunts around, trying to get that surround, and using a lot of Hex focus fire here to try to take care of him. And the Undead player just ignoring the units and ignoring that Blade Master, going right for the Shadowhunter, because that's the most viable target at this point. You look at his items. He doesn't have a health pot. He doesn't have any means of escape, really. No Scroll Town Portal, no Potion of Invulnerability. So he's a good target there. And you can click, if you didn't notice before, again, sorry to kind of backtrack for some of you more advanced players, but some players don't know this. You can click on your enemy heroes to see what items they have, and you can quickly look at those items and gauge whether they're a good target or not. If you see, generally a Death Knight is not a good target, but if that Death Knight doesn't have any health pots and vuln pots or Scrolls of Town Portal, or if he's way out in the open like we're seeing right now, he's a good target, and if you can get the surround off, that much better. If not, whatever. So yeah, just a little tip for you if you haven't already realized that. Again, for the Undead players, getting that Orb of Corruption on your Lich, if you can hit Tier 3 and get that, very, very good item to have on your Lich. If your opponent chooses to go more air, switch that orb over to your Death Knight, so both heroes can be attacking the air units. When it comes time to do a little bit of fighting here, with the Orc player